From the You Hear Good Things Podcast Network, here is Running in Slow Motion with Sidney and Tamra Smith.
Hey, welcome back to another Running in Slow Motion with me, Sidney Smith, and my co-host,
Tamra Smith.
What's up, Tamra?
Nothing.
Hey, first, you know what? I forgot. I didn't tell you, but I got to say it to these folks here. Mm-hmm. I forgot to check some of the equipment. So all of the video of the podcast got recorded, but not all of the audio. So that was a little bit of a pain in the ass when editing for last week's podcast episode.
Is that why I sounded so far away? Were you using the audio from the video?
No. What? No, you know what it was. There was also some issues with some bleed.
Oh, okay.
From my mic to your mic and vice versa. So hopefully we have a little bit smoother editing process this time. Because before, with the one last week, for some reason, like when I say something, I can hear it in both mics and vice versa. And you really, really don't want that. And it was weird because we weren't getting that when we were just recording it, just audio.
Yeah. But I feel like we're sitting closer together now.
We might be. Move away from me.
You move away from me.
Thank you guys for joining us. I do appreciate it. Thank you for all the kind words as well and the kind comments from the video. Again, this is a work in progress on the video side. This is not our permanent studio situation set up, but we're trying to get better with it and practicing before we get to that end of the year thing where we expect we'll be that much more better and have more of a professional setting for this thing.
Yeah. And I appreciate people who reached out and, applauded me for getting out of my comfort zone. Well, especially being on video.
Well, that's what I was talking to my good friend Jeremy. If he sees this, shout out to him. Had a great hour-long conversation with him about business and comedy and everything. And gave me some aspects of it I wasn't really thinking about. But that's what we were kind of talking about. I was telling him right now that the coolest thing I'm doing right now is this podcast with you. And you've been getting great feedback from people who've known you for years, who've never had an opportunity to see you in this light. And you've been getting great feedback from it.
I think it has to do with the fact that I'm just here in the room with you and I'm just looking at you, because with you, I'm comfortable. I can talk about almost anything, but I would be more nervous if we were sitting with an audience, because then that's when I would be a little more nervous. Well,
and that's why we do it now, because we will be in front of an audience eventually, and you'll be an old pro by time that comes. But it has been, and I was telling Jeremy, and for people out there who are watching who know us personally, I was telling Jeremy, who's met you a couple of different times and he's been in social settings with you. It's very rare that people even get to see you at a show.
Yeah.
And even if you're at a show, you're not really speaking to anyone. And you leave before all of any after show festivities even start to begin. So people never get a real chance. If they get to hear your voice, it will be rare. Let alone to really get to have a conversation with you.
I actually get that comment a lot because, when people find out you're a comedian, the first question I always get is, do you go to all of his shows?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. Well, why not? I have my own job. I work all day, and I'm not trying to go to your job and follow you around and wait for you. And unless I'm there with friends to actually watch the show, there's not really a reason for me to be there or to say much, because it'd be like you following me around at my job, inputting your 2 cents into something that you're not familiar with.
I could probably make some changes over there.
You probably could.
I could really make some improvements over there. Make some things happen. I can come tomorrow and really get shit. Or Monday, rather, and get some shit really popping off.
No, that's okay.
So you're doubting my skills?
I'm not doubting you, but I just know your patience level with
with people under 18?
Yes.
I can get some shit cracking.
I know you could, but probably would get us in some trouble.
And the fact that I don't really work there is even better, because I can really do what I want. You can't fire me. I'm technically not supposed to even be here.
Hey, let's just not go down that road because I don't want us to be in trouble.
How are we in trouble?
Well, because if you do something, you're gonna have to sign into the school. It's a whole thing. There'll be some trouble.
You know those ladies just love my voice when I come by there, so they'll just let me in the door. just I'm here to deliver some flowers for my wife. I want to put a plant on her desk, and then after that, I just take over.
Just take over the school.
I'm not gonna mention any names, but some people there in senior leadership be happy to let me take over for a day. Just let me come through here and do some shit.
Would they?
Start putting people fucking headlocks and shit. Oh yeah.
I think that would just get us in some trouble.
Do you still have to smack the erasers if you don't do right? Can the kids smack erasers?
Are you showing your age right now?
What are you talking about? You don't have erasers?
We have dry erase boards.
Even better.
We do not have chalkboards.
Even better. Smack those dry erasers.
What's coming out of them? Like
I don't care, but you building up them shoulders. Get them pecs together.
Oh my goodness gracious. Smacking the erasers together. We don't have chalkboards anymore.
Are you allowed to make them hold books outstretched like that with the arms outstretched?
No, you can't do that.
Can't do that. Okay, maybe I don't want to come by there. It doesn't sound like I'm going to be able to be very effective.
Well, it's just like I wouldn't be effective at your job. You know, I read a joke to you that my friend sent me earlier, and you
straight, yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
Because you are corny, and so you always do like. I don't want to mention her name, but I will mention this person's name because I love her dearly. She's a good friend of both of ours, but more yours, but both of ours. Michelle, she's corny too, and so you always have these good friendships with some of the corniest females I've ever. I'm just like, I am so happy, and I would always tell you. I think that the husbands of those women are happy that the two of you found each other too, so they can stop talking to him.
And stop hearing the jokes.
No, absolutely.
I'm sure they hear the jokes too. Because I told it to you.
I know, and sure those husbands give the same look like, bro. And I'm a professional. And those men don't do it. I do it, and they still know this is horrible.
But see, that's what would happen if I came and
get a friend
and tried to communicate at your job. I'd probably be telling some like dad jokes or something.
These aren't even good enough to be dad jokes.
Careful with that.
I know.
It's going to spray all over. You might want to set your mic down.
I don't want that. I'm a pro. Guys, watch me open this.
Those of you who are watching the video, watch him spray water all over himself when he opens this.
Just water
Kirkland's water.
It's just water. How dare you?
And while you're opening that water, I had something I wanted to tell you about.
Oh, there it is. I got it. What? Yeah. Yeah. Why?
I saw that happening all day. Oh my gosh.
Wait a minute though. The water didn't come out till after I opened it, so technically I still want it.
Yeah, but you got it all over the new chair.
It's just water. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me tell you what I learned about fantasy football.
Oh gosh.
It's nothing like I didn't learn any words that are correct for fantasy football, but
I love that you
I don't know any football words, but okay, so yesterday at work we had this tailgate potluck thing. Everybody brought food. We were eating lunch together, and the guys were in the lounge talking about fantasy football.
Yeah.
And I was telling him how cute you are and how you always say like, we have a fantasy football team and our team is doing so great. And then we were talking about that and they looked at me and they're like, you know why he does that, right? And I said, no, why? They're like, so that way when he loses, he could say it's your fault.
So that's what you learned?
Yeah. I was like, oh, I felt like I learned a secret while I was sitting there, like a man code secret or something.
Are these guys married?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, you told these guys from your husband, from man to man, fuck you. All right. How dare you let the secret out? How dare you? Fuck you guys.
So that way when they lose, you're going to say we lost?
No.
Or I made us lose.
Look, I'm not going to confirm what they said. I am only going to tell you to relay a message. Fuck you. Because how dare you be just, man code used to mean something back in the day. 2023, man, code doesn't mean anything.
I felt very enlightened. Like I was let in on a big secret. I'm like, oh, he's so cute. It's our team.
It is our team.
We are winning.
That's right. We are in on this together.
And then I found out that way you have somebody to blame if we lose.
Look, if we lose, what happens is what happens. Okay, I cannot say one way or the other. Only thing I will say about this whole thing is tell those guys to say fuck you.
Okay.
Right? And,
I'll relay the message.
And tell them however you got to tell them. I know you probably can't say it the way I said it.
Okay.
But if you can, fuck you. Just that's how I do it. You see, I did fuck like 3 times. It was like 3 seconds long. Fuck you. You see I did that?
Yes.
Right in there.
I saw that.
Let them hit them like with a dart.
I saw it.
When
I heard it.
When I take over your job, they're going to be the first ones to go.
For telling your secret?
And I don't mean go like losing their job.
It sounds like you're confirming what they're saying.
They're going to be the first ones I sacrifice to the kids.
I mean, if it's not a confirmation, you wouldn't be firing them.
I said not firing them, just sacrificing them to the kids.
Oh, okay.
All right, because I'm going to break the school down into different areas. And for the kids that don't want to listen, I'm not going to really get rid of them. I just give them their own area.
Okay.
Because you stay within these walls over here.
I see.
Let's say like the cafeteria. No, not the cafeteria. I need that. But the auditorium. That's where they stay. So that's where I would sacrifice these guys to just, here, take them to you.
Oh, okay.
And do as you will with these adults. I got it all broken down, player.
I mean, you're sounding just as corny as some of my.
I don't think so.
My jokes with my friends.
Why don't you tell your joke on the microphone right here? So since I sound as corny as that, I don't think I do.
I don't want to steal somebody's joke.
Steal it. You could give this joke away.
I can't remember the whole thing. You know, I have a bad memory. I'm like a goldfish.
Let's hope that lasts.
It was along the lines of like, why don't monsters eat ghosts?
Why?
Because it'll make them feel like sheet or something.
Yeah. Where's my drum set from a rip?
Oh my gosh!
Awful.
You're so mean.
Straight trash. Just garbage all the time. Told you the jokes are horrible. Like I said, your friends corny. And like I said, those husbands think the same thing I do. Oh, thank God she found somebody else to talk to. Am I the only husband who thinks that? I do not. I
love those jokes.
I know. I'm glad that you do.
I know a few others too. I'll save them for later. Ooh. Maybe another show.
Oh man, it looks like I'll be going out tonight. I wasn't going to. But looks like I'll be headed out after this podcast. Also, guys, we have been trying to find the best day to drop this thing. Mondays, maybe. Yeah, I think we're going to record on Saturdays and drop it on Monday. Drop it Monday mornings and let you guys jump on and maybe take a ride to work with us or catch us at your lunch. Who knows? Catch us whenever you want. But I think that's going to be the day that's going to work out best for us.
I like to listen on Mondays to podcasts because it's the worst traffic day.
Ooh, I never thought about that.
I am in traffic forever on Mondays. I feel like it takes at least 3 times longer to get to work on Monday than it does Wednesday through Friday.
Thought about that. I never thought about that.
It's awful.
You know, we should do it. I want to come back to traffic, but it's on the top of my brain right now. I feel so ADHD, or if that's right, the right way to use that. But,
it's all right. We've had a weird day.
Shout out to the Plated Project folks.
Yeah.
To Ryan and Brian and Nico and Jared and Tim. I think I nailed all of them. And obviously the whole crew that assist them with everything. But we're going to go to the soft opening, one of their new spots over Easy. And if you are in the Phoenix area or Flagstaff, we highly recommend this. Is completely free. So Brian, here's this. Yes, mofo, because you're my brother. You get the free one. Go to Over Easy, grab yourself some breakfast. I think they usually open to about 2:00. They only open in the morning until early afternoon. Then they shut it all down. But it's our favorite breakfast place to go when we're up in Flag, to go hang out with those guys and hang out for the 4th or whenever time we go up, or just to be down here in the Phoenix area. So I think they've got 12 or 13 or something like that open. But this one is getting ready to open at 67th and Deer Valley. And what's the other one opening?
83rd and Happy Valley. But I was going to say, if, for those people who live around us and our friends, we're going to the soft opening this weekend, but next weekend is the grand opening.
Yes.
So I think it's the 23rd, 24th of September. So join them in the grand opening. It's a good breakfast spot.
Yeah, check it out. Again, it's our favorite place. Give them your favorite dish that you like over there. I
like the country fried steak.
You do.
They also have fresh squeezed orange juice.
The best.
And they serve pressed coffee if you like pressed coffee.
Very local, very local. Mm-hmm. My favorite, for a couple of reasons, is that Cubano sandwich. Mm-hmm. And I may get that tomorrow. I may get something else, but that Cubano sandwich, I love it for 2 reasons. One, it's tasty. Very tasty. Yeah. Second reason is I now love it is because when I went to the soft opening of, was that a couple of months ago at Ray and the 10. So if you're down in Chandler, I would take area anywhere, you can hit that one there. Mm-hmm. It's in Chandler at Ray and the 10. I'm eating it, and Jared comes out of the kitchen, and he says, "Hey, man, I think you ordered the wrong eggs with that." Because I got scrambled eggs on my sandwich. I said, "Hey, man, this is easier. It's not messier this way." He goes, Yeah. That's probably true." But I'm like, where else does the chef come out and kind of, critique how you order your food? Now, don't get scared. Jared doesn't come out there and just do that on random. I mean, I think he felt like he came out and he said it to me because we're homies. But I just said to him, I said, that is the weirdest shit. I said, I got something in my mind where chefs just come out and just give you critiques of how you order the food on your menu.
I feel that's like a Dave Ramsey thing or something.
What's that?
Like he'd come out and yell at you or something. Doesn't he yell at restaurant owners? And
Dave Ramsey is the money guy.
Oh, okay.
Who are you thinking about?
I don't know.
About Gordon Ramsay?
Maybe. Is that the guy?
Gordon Ramsay.
Wrong Ramsey. One of the Ramseys yells at people.
You know who it is, that Pharaoh Ramsey from the Bible. That Ramsey.
The Ramsey that yells at everyone.
That is Gordon Ramsay. There, my sweet wife.
Okay. I apologize.
No worries. I wonder if I hope people are entertained by us right now. Are you guys entertained? Are you not entertained? I hope they are. Do I have the lights?
I'm entertained just watching you.
Why?
I feel like you're a little wild today. I feel like the last couple shows you've been kind of calm and you have a lot more energy today.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you.
It's Saturday.
No, it's not. No, it's not because it's Saturday. Because I'm a big personality, and I know it. And I'm profession, and this is my profession. Mm-hmm. And especially when I'm dealing with people, it's not your thing. I try to kind of lay back and let you find your way and give you room, so that you don't feel overshadowed or don't feel like I'm taking all the oxygen out of the room. I'm being, just for me to be completely honest. This is not how I normally like to be. As you know, I don't like to, have a bunch of energy all the time and be cha 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 cha. It's not my thing. But you give me a mic, give me some lights, then that's kind of my natural thing. Except for if I'm working with someone like you, where we're trying to get your legs underneath you and get you going. Yeah,
well, I appreciate that. But you never let me finish about my favorite foods.
Well, that's because no one. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You moved on, but they have to try.
We can backtrack though.
Okay, well, I'm going back because I was thinking they have those sausage pancakes on a stick. I like those.
You talk about, first of all,
sausage waffle on a stick?
It's more like a corn dog sausage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's like the kinds that kids eat that you can kind of like a corn dog, but like way better version of them.
Yes, but it's a sausage with pancake batter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
delicious.
Very, very delicious. I think they were one of the items that they talked about. Gordon. You got me doing it now. Guy Fieri, Diner Drivers and Dives.
Oh, okay.
I believe so. But they are good. We have some of those. Yeah. Me and the fellas had a couple of those. It was a little weird to eat those with the guys, though.
Did you guys take them off the stick and eat them with knives and forks?
Look, when they ate them, I just looked away. Just a little weird watching these dudes eat sausage on a stick with some pancake batter on it. No.
Oh my gosh.
No, we did have to cut them and pull pieces off, whatever, because there's only 3 that come with an order, and they are very filling. I mean, you think they're not going to be, but if you fuck up and you order them with breakfast,
you can't eat breakfast.
You can do it.
Yeah, you're full before your food gets there. I can't say that I ever go there and order anything healthy. So if you're one of our healthy eating, like people,
they have healthy things.
I'm sure they do, but I've never tried anything.
Yeah,
because when we go to breakfast, we don't go to breakfast often.
Yeah.
But when we do, I'm going to order something I like, and it's not going to be a egg white tomato omelet.
They do have that on there.
It's probably delicious, but
I will say this: you may, because the reason we don't go to breakfast more often was because there was not an over easy close to us.
That's true.
Like we would have the closest one was what? How far is Surprise for us to get to that one? 25 minutes.
Yeah,
and then
Paradise Valley.
Then you have to sit because there's always a line. So
that's true.
You have to sit and wait as well. So
if it's closer and we go more often, I'll probably order healthy because I don't eat like that every weekend.
Yeah, well, and because you have your favorites, when you don't go someplace that often, you want your fucking favorites.
Yeah.
So completely understandable. But over easy, shout out again to those guys. Super, super dope. Super proud of you guys. All the hard work you guys put in. Can't wait to see what you do the rest of this year and moving forward. But we want to make sure we gave some love to those folks.
Yeah.
So fantasy football, I've already lost. So
we have lost.
That's right. We've lost. I don't know how I could say it. Just fucking snitches over there. But we've already lost. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out why we always lose the first game. Probably because of the players that you've been picking. And I need you to get your shit together because this cannot continue.
Okay, well, just pick the blue ones and they'll win. Okay,
let's move on. Yo, can we shout out, and I'm doing this without even knowing, I didn't even check with Dave, but Caden Hackle, our nephew Caden Hackle, has been kind of a killer year so far with Liberty High School. Went to a game a couple of weeks ago. They just demolished these other high school kids. Last night's game there was supposed to be another victory. Did not get a chance to talk to Dave to see, but I'm going to assume that those boys are 3-0. So congratulations for being 3-0 to Caden Hackle and the Liberty squad. And if you guys did not win, forget I said anything about what I just said. All right, just do better next week. Just do better next week.
Just keep working hard.
There you go. Keep striving, reaching for the top. The feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars.
You're so special today.
That's that old. For anybody out there old enough to remember, that's that old Casey Kasem from Saturday morning with the videos.
I don't know what that is.
Well, you're a little younger, so I don't expect you to remember. But there used to be, God damn it, what was the name of that show? There was a show that came on every Saturday after the cartoons went off. And Casey Kasem used to be a DJ, and he was a national DJ, but he became this host of this TV show, like half an hour, I want to say. And they would show music videos, but that was his sign off every week. And remember, keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for those stars. We'll see you next week.
That's great. This is not corny at all. I mean,
I didn't say it wasn't corny. When you're a kid, you're like, yeah, you keep my feet on the ground. Reach for the star. Keep going, trying to reach up there. Cheers is a show you really enjoy. I love it. That's why we have the Sam Malone Funko Pop down here.
I'm not enjoying the Sam Malone Funko Pop though, because his head is heavy and he keeps falling over.
Well,
and I have to keep standing him back up.
Ted Danson did have a good sized head with a lot of hair on it, so it's pretty accurate there. Forgive me, Ted, for mentioning that. Great job on Curb Your Enthusiasm, by the way. So remember Carla's ex-husband Nick and his wife, the tall blonde with the little tiny voice?
No, I don't remember the wife. See, I just knocked it over.
Good Lord, man. You just over here
it's okay.
Knocking over J.J. Abrams. Poor guy didn't do anything.
It's fine. He's got a heavy head too.
Yeah. How do you not? You've watched Cheers. You like the TV show.
I know, but I told you I'm like a goldfish.
Anyway, that was Casey Kasem's wife. Is his widower now at this point because he's been dead for quite some time. But yeah, anyway, let's move on.
You guys, he gets so upset at me all the time because we will watch movies together and he'll be like, remember that movie? And I'm like, no, I don't remember that movie.
This is our fucking life.
Sure. I don't know why I can't remember movies. You know, like some people go about their whole life quoting just movie after movie after movie. And I'm like, I don't know where that's from. I can't remember the movie.
But you know, I'm getting better. I'm getting better, people, because this weekend was supposed to be all about Tamra. Because we the last couple of weekends have not been about her. She's very upset. She's a very unselfish person, but she has her selfish times that pop up, and she needed some us time. And I said, you know what, boom, you got it. Next weekend, it's whatever you want. Your weekend. I'm not making any plans. We won't make any plans. You want to do something, we'll do it. Just tell me what it is. And she gave me a list of nothing. Absolute nothing. Came home yesterday. I'm like, yo, you want to watch a movie? What do you want to do? She laid on the couch for a second. She, I don't think I'm going to keep my eyes open for about 45 minutes. And if it sounds weird that my voice sounded deep when I was saying what she said, that's because that's what she sounds like when she gets tired. She said, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep my eyes open for 45 minutes.
I don't think it lasted 45 minutes.
You did not. And so today she got up with the dogs and she did her thing as she normally does because she just loves these animals. And if you put a gun in my head, she loves them more than me. I'll just be honest with you. So she gets up, she does that. Then she goes and gets her nails done. She comes back. We run to go get some new mic cords because we wanted the show to look a little better. And I had to get on a phone call. She went grab some corn nuts. She's back. And when we're done with this, she's going to say, you know what? I don't think I can keep my eyes open for 45 minutes.
Everybody already knows that my bedtime is 8 o'clock. And just so you know, we're recording this at 6:38 p.m.
So late.
So I have about an hour and 20 minutes left in me.
Late. I don't know how she's awake right now. I don't know.
And I said earlier, I was like, man, I should have took a nap earlier.
You sure did. Did you hear how she said the time as if it was midnight? Hey, well, look, it's already 6:30. I mean, I don't know what else you want from me.
It's been a long day. I actually don't feel that tired right now, though. I think I can last like 2 hours.
Oh, nice. You can push it
like 9 o'clock.
Whoa.
We might get one episode in on that new show you want to watch.
And we won't get no. I'm not watching anything with you. Because anytime I start a show with you, I don't. But by the time I finished one season, the next season has already fucking come out. I'm not starting any more shows with you anymore because every time we try to watch an episode, we get 10 minutes in. I don't think I can keep my eyes open for another 45 minutes. And then you go to bed and then I can't watch it because God forbid I finish watching the episode or another
without
episode.
me.
I know. I will not hear the end of it.
That's right. Because if we start it together, we have to finish it together.
Which is why we're not starting any more shows together.
No, we're going to start that one.
No, we're not starting that one.
We will.
Look, I wanted to ask you a question on the podcast. All right. See how I transition from that to that? Because I will not be starting any more shows with her.
You will.
What inspires you? And let me be a little more specific than that. What inspires you when it comes to your career and what it is that you do?
Well,
be very gentle with this water.
Yeah, don't spill it all over yourself.
Shut up.
I think seeing that I make a difference is what inspires me to keep working hard at my job. Like, that's a big question for me because there's a lot of things. I don't know if they inspire me or
you got all the time to work with
or guide me. But if I think back early in my life, I think the biggest thing that inspired me was the lack of things that I needed in my life. Mm-hmm. So if I think back to that, like there were things that I needed in my life. I needed love. I needed to be cared for. I needed people to show up for me. Mm-hmm. And I think that I lacked that from like important people in my life. And so as I became an adult and more independent and able to help other people, I wanted to be that for them. And so this is like a really weird question, because I don't know that I've shared this with a lot of people, but I don't have like a 5-year plan or like a 5-year goal. Like, you're constantly setting goals and reaching goals. I can't say that I do that. I feel like my life has been more like
day to day.
Not day to day, but more like The Alchemist when I think about it. Like, okay. I have specific things that I want. Like, I want a peaceful life. So I want my life to be peaceful. I want it to be calm. I want to be successful. There are just certain things. I want to have good relationships and good friendships. So there are certain values that I have within myself, but I won't say that I have a 5-year goal. Like, in 5 years, I'm going to be principal, or in 5 years, I'm going to be superintendent. Like, I don't have that. I just feel like I love the position that I'm in when I'm in it. And then when something guides me to the next thing, I just know and I go with it. I don't really, but when you think about other aspects of that's like big picture career, but like everyday things, like, you inspire me to be like a stronger version of myself every day. Like, I tend to be giving, and sometimes to a fault to giving. Yeah. So you help me be stronger in like setting my boundaries and sticking up for myself, and
tell the truth,
treating myself better, because like you'll say things like, and women will get this, like I'll stand in the mirror and be like, oh, I hate these clothes. I hate this shirt. I look fat. And you'll turn around to me without even batting an eye and say, hey, you know what I do to people who talk about my wife?
Yes. Talk to them. Understand?
So it's like you encourage me, you inspire me to think bigger, to dream bigger, to have more love for myself.
Keep that mic in front of your mouth to inspire you to do that.
Yeah, you do inspire me to do that, but sometimes I forget.
Okay. Well, I was curious about it. Something popped up on IG Reels, and I saved it, and I said, "Oh yeah, I remember I wanted to talk about this." What, because it's different for everybody. Yeah. Everyone's going to have different things, and money inspires some people. I don't know. Just depending on who you talk to. I don't know what inspires any of you out there who are watching. And shout out to people on the podcast. I should have said this at the top. Forgive me. Shout out to you guys who listen to us on Apple, Stitcher, iHeart, Spotify, and so on and so forth. All those different podcast networks out there. And shout out to you guys who are watching us on YouTube. We thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. If you have not clicked subscribe on the YouTube, go ahead and click that for us. That helps us out greatly. And then for you guys who may be listening to us, if you've not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and click subscribe for the podcast. And both sides, guys, share it with someone. If you think it, someone would dig it. Maybe they'll laugh with us, or maybe they'll cry with us, whatever. I found it interesting because it made me think about what it is that inspires me. Mm-hmm. And I guess I am such a person on when you catch me. And I don't know if that's a weird thing or not. I guess the one thing that always stays true for me and would always stay true, it was true before we got married. It would be true, if for whatever reason you lost your mind and packed stuff and left me, it would still stay true, is that I just want to be immortal. Mm-hmm. And I think I said to you, a comic, Langston Kerman, I worked with last week at Mic Drop. Shout out to Casey and the crew over there. We were talking in the green room, and he was telling me what some of his goals and what he wanted and what he wanted to do going forward. And I told him mine, and one of my shits is I want to be immortal. Mm-hmm. When you look at the people who have created the art that can never be forgotten about and have left this earth that people still talk about. If you want to talk about a comedy, Richard Pryor, of course, is the king for a lot of comics. George Carlin, Bill Cosby, for whatever you think, his legacy for a lot of folks, especially in my field, is going to be the work that he's put in. George Lucas, who's still alive and breathing, but when he leaves, Star Wars is going to be his, and his name is on the building over at USC, and Steven Spielberg, and those lists go on. Those guys will be immortal. And you can have kids, you can do anything you want. You have no say so at the end of the day when it comes to your children and what type of legacy they'll leave for themselves, let alone for you. But the work, the art that you put out, if it's good and people just love it, that you can control. And that will give you immortality. I
am impressed by that because I guess I've never looked at life that big. I don't know. Maybe I should. But to me, I want people to feel loved about or like loved by me and cared about. And
that's immortal, but that gives you immortality.
I guess so.
I mean, Mama Gail, I love her dearly, but there will come a time when she won't be here on the earth with us. Yeah. But she lives through you. She lives through Kelly. Yeah. And the things that you pass on and the spirit that she's giving you, you carry every day to work, and you've given it to those kids. Yeah. And they still stay in contact with you now, and they have kids now. You don't think they're not sharing that stuff moving forward in their own lives. They've had a million fucking teachers. Yeah. For at least from kindergarten to 12th grade. If they went to college or grad school, count them in too. But they still reach out to at least you. Yeah, that's true. That's an impact. And I'm sure some of those lessons, some of those times where I used to tell people all the time, we go to more fucking games and do more shit for kids that I did not make and she did not give birth to. Especially when we first started dating. Those are things that people remember. Hell, Callie, is her name Callie? Yeah. She just graduated from high school and she's off to college, but she invited you to her high school and she hadn't been in your class in how many years? Yeah, she was a third grader in my class. Yeah, so I mean, maybe it's not something you are intentionally going for. Yeah. But it's something that you have the opportunity to create every single day. I think that that's just a byproduct of what I kind of live for. Yeah. When you first asked me the question, like what inspires me, I thought about that in different ways, and until you clarified it with connected to my career. But I was thinking of like where I draw inspiration from for things. Okay. And I would say the two places I draw inspiration from the most is when I'm walking. So when I'm just walking anywhere, like on a long walk. Okay. Like I feel inspired. Okay. And then also showers. I don't know why. I think everyone comes up with ideas and you feel inspired when you're in the shower. It has something to do with the sense, like the sensory or and so that's why, because I'm the same way, and a lot of people are. But yes, while immortality is a byproduct of it, I was only saying that you have the same opportunity. Yeah, probably more so on a regular basis than even say myself, because when you are a creator, you're creating, you're putting it out there, whether it be on stage, whether it be through YouTube, whether it be whatever your art form is. And you're hoping that there's someone, but you have the opportunity because there are kids who have to be there every single day. And not that every one of them is paying attention, but at least you have a captive audience, an opportunity with a captive audience. Yeah, but I would not take away the impact that you have, because I feel like anytime you can make a person feel something, you have impact in their life. And so I think that you don't always think about the impact that you have on people's lives, because laughter gets people through a lot. Or even just the times you pick up the phone and call people and have these in-depth conversations with them, you check on them, you like all of these pieces of who you are will live on. So same thing. Sly hit me up. Sly is my DP for my films. Very, very talented young dude. He's mid-20s, just had a birthday. He hit me up last week. And just because he's doing other projects, so he and I have not come together or anything, waiting for the temperatures to drop here in Phoenix. He hit me up and just said, hey, my guy, thinking about you. Just want to see how you're doing, so on and so forth. And that made me feel good because that's something that he and I have been talking about since we met. Because and he admitted he's not very good at that.
Yeah.
And I tried to relay to him 2 or 3 different times. We had this conversation that he opened up why these things are important.
Yeah.
And the fact that he did it, it did make me feel good. Not because I needed him to check on me. I was fine. But I see that it has some effect on him.
Yeah.
And I think doing things like that, as I told him, only helps you down the road personally and professionally.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, it's nice when it's hard to put into words. So like, sometimes when I think about my job, it's a job. Like sometimes when I think about that, but at the end of the day, it's bigger than that. It's not just a job because I'm helping people get through. Right now, I'm helping adults get through really challenging situations,
Correct.
whether it's learning to teach in their classroom, whether it's navigating the behaviors of students, whatever it is, you're supporting them through something that's very challenging, and it's not just a job. And so I try to be very careful when I think about my job because, well, it's a job. I feel it's bigger than that. So
yeah, and excuse me, I would agree with you because it's not a job. Obviously, it's a career. And I tell you all the time, for you, and we've gone back and forth on this over the years, and at the end of the day, it's her decision, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think for you to have found what you've been doing at a first time out and to actually enjoy it more often than not is a blessing.
Yeah.
And so that's why with anyone out there, see, certain things are just a calling. And being in education is a calling.
Yeah.
Being a pastor is a calling. Being a doctor is a calling. Being a police officer is a calling. These things where you are in some type of servitude to other people, to your community, that is a calling.
Yeah.
And when you decide that this is what I'm going to do because it makes good money, or it's got benefits, or I get summers off, or I just think this would be easier than going this route, that's where you trip up and you find yourself completely fucking miserable. Because you weren't called to that thing. And that's when you see people get into trouble. That's when you see people living that miserable life. That's when you see people who are just constantly written up. That's when you see those people who just don't give a fuck every day that they're going to work, just living for every 2 weeks. Those people just living 14 days at a time.
I'm like, how do I heard you say, being a teacher, being all of these different, but these titles.
Yeah.
But even if those titles were not there, those people would be who they are. So I think that's something that even though, you say I'm an entertainer, and you don't have a title to put to it, you still are that for people. The caring, the checking in, the helping your community, all of those things.
100%.
So, and I think that's, and I think that has a big impact on people. So I could see that you were, I can see and understand why you were happy that he called to check on you, that's something that you have been talking to him with, and like you're teaching him has kind of shined through. Yeah,
so you are, I agree with you. And you are accurate in what you are observing and relaying. And I would say to that, the reason for that is because you know this about me, and people out there who are watching and listening who know me, I don't like a lot of people. And it takes, go ahead.
I was just going to say, anytime people like really get to know you, they're like, oh, you're really nice. You're really gentle. But you don't let, just like I don't let, like you're talking about me being on camera and how people don't get to see this side of me. Not a lot of people get to see that side of you. But once they do, they understand like that's your calling. That's who you are. You don't forget things about people. You are a permanent in their life.
But those people are few.
Yeah.
So if I do, and I try to share, and I don't want to say instill something in you, because I try to share parts of me that I think will benefit people, whether you're younger or older. But when I do, and it comes through. And I guess this would be almost something you would feel as a teacher.
Yeah.
You see it come through like, okay, this kid was listening.
Yeah.
He gets it. You know, I don't know how, because like my mother says, and a lot of people's mothers say, people and things come in your life for seasons.
Yeah.
Everything isn't meant to last forever.
Yeah.
So, you know, you always should be trying, if you can, to give something to someone else to take forward with the next part of their life.
Yeah.
I mean, the interactions that you have with people on a daily basis, whether they work with you, whether it's your kids, whether it's your spouse, whether it's a fucking mailman, anyone that you decide that you want to take time on a regular basis, and you should be trying to give something and to take something.
So then I guess my question for you, or my wonder for you, is that when you say you want to find that immortality, you want to find it in a larger scale?
Yes.
Okay. So like for me, like I'm thinking like I've probably taught hundreds of students over my career, but I can't say that hundreds of students seek me out. It's a few.
Right.
So you're thinking of it on a grander scale. So like you said, Richard Pryor, like people across the globe know who he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you hear that name. Like, oh, shit. When you hear Michael Jackson, when you hear that song, whatever your favorite Michael Jackson song is, holy shit. When you hear that Prince song, and even more so, even some of those one-hit wonders, songs that you hear, like they never had another hit, but that one was so fucking great. You can't help but get up and get going every time. And then you start dancing. Man, you remember that? And then they never had another hit after that. And then by the time the song is over, you're back to your original position. But it has such an impact on you. Yeah. From then to now, you just can't help but just, feel it when you hear it.
I find it fascinating how you and I differ in that way, because you want everybody to know you, and I'm like, I don't want anyone to know me. And
which is the fascinating thing to people, that you're doing this podcast and you're on video now.
I know, but that's because you inspire me to do things out of my comfort zone, and so I'm trying something new, but it's not something that I seek. Like I don't care if a bunch of people know me. And we've even joked about, like, if you were to be, become famous and you have to do these red carpet, I'm like, do I have to go? Like, do I have to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like the wife in the background that I'm like, people are going to be asking, like, who's your wife? Where's your wife? Because
people ask now.
I know that, because some
people think you don't exist.
You guys, I have to tell you, sometimes he will say to me, can you please just come out with me so people know I still have a wife? Because I don't go out to the shows very often.
I told you before, I might have said on the podcast before, we were like, so how's Tamra? I killed her.
You killed her. I'm still here.
You're like, what? Yeah, man,
I'm just at home, usually asleep.
Living off the insurance. I think when it comes to mortality, and for me, I don't think whatever it is that inspired you, again, it's me, immortality. But that's my one big thing for sure. But it doesn't have to be, I don't think it has to be your only thing. I mean, some of you guys out there have kids, and those may be what inspire you. I had a conversation the other day with a good friend of mine, just talking to him about his life, because he's got kids and he's got a wife. And I'm like, bro, how do you do it? Every day you get up, go to work, come home, wife and kids, sports, dinner, go to sleep, go to work, wife, kids, dinner, sports, go to bed, go. I don't know if I'm built for that. And so I look at people and just wonder how they do it, because they seem to be happy doing it. And I sometimes question, is there something wrong with me? Because I cannot get my head wrapped around that. So he and I had a good conversation. He just kind of broke it down to me, how he sees it, and, discussions that he's had with his wife and how they go about things, and why they're doing the things they're doing. They're doing these things right now for the kids, but when that time is up, there's going to be this time for this, and so on and so forth, which I got. They have a plan, and I get it. But it was still just something I do struggle with for like the last year, just looking at him, looking at my one younger brother who has kids and a wife, and watching that routine that he goes through, and other friends who live that same similar routine, and just sat back and I just thought, man, is there something wrong with me? Because I don't see how that is satisfying.
I don't really quite know how to respond, because I think you do live in somewhat of a routine, whether you see it that way or not. Mm-hmm. I see it.
Okay.
You just don't, because you're a little more spontaneous about things. But at the end of the day, you're happiest when you come home.
I'm happiest when I come home, but my life is not surrounded by going to a regular 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Getting done with that 9 to 5, and I'm only making what that 9 to 5 is going to let me to make. And then I got to be, okay, now I got to go from here and I got to race and get the kids. I need to get the kids to practice, and I'm exhausted. I would love to take a nap, but I can't. And I got to come home, and I got to sit with the wife, and we got to do what we got to do. See, that thing right there.
I think you would do it, because I think at the end of the day, there's something bigger. So I don't know what your friend told you, but I think that for people who choose to have children, mm-hmm. having children and raising children to be successful adults mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. is what inspires them. That every day-to-day stuff is the compromise.
Okay.
I feel like in anything that you choose, I think that even if you became famous, let's say that, you would have some compromise, because you would lose some freedoms that you have now.
Absolutely.
While you would gain others.
Absolutely.
So I think that any situation you adjust to whatever it is to meet that goal that you're working towards. So if that means, so like, let's say you became famous, and I know you joke about this, like, yeah, I'm going to have drivers, people can drive me around, but I think...
I'm not joking.
I know you're not joking, but I think you would hate that. I know this about you, because there are some days where you are just so restless, and I'm like, get in the car and go somewhere. You couldn't do that. Well, I mean, in those situations.
Because nothing's absolute. So I will give you those mm-hmm. type, because you're right. There's some give and take. I was just listening to something on YouTube, and they were talking about Beyonce, and mm-hmm. I need to look this up. If you guys, I believe it because how big she is, so that's why I'm going to say it. But you look it up, and if I'm wrong, forgive me. But there's a law, or there's a rule. Beyonce can't go and have dinner someplace, or just go out and go shopping. Like, she could be arrested from something that I think it was Charlamagne the God I heard say it on the Breakfast Club. She's not allowed to do that, because she would cause such a fucking ruckus. Yeah, that they are afraid that someone would get hurt, or things would happen. So, something as simple as, hey, I just want to go, just drop by and have, and it made me think that obviously she's not the only one. When Michael Jackson was alive, he couldn't go fucking any place. Yep. He would have loved the COVID years because he could have wore that mask for sure, and nobody would have been the wiser when, as opposed to when he would wear it before and everybody thought he was a weirdo. Yeah. I guess there's some give and take with mm-hmm. anything. Mm-hmm. But watching those men, and it's not just men, so it's women as well who live that life, obviously raising kids. Some men do it on their own, some women do it on their own. So I don't want to exclude anybody, but just seeing them, like, I couldn't imagine doing that.
It's because you're not in the situation, but if you were, you would rise to the occasion.
I'm not saying I wouldn't, but that's why even with you and I. Yeah. No, I'm being serious. I'm not saying that I wouldn't. I mean, but that's why with you and I, when we talked about having children together, it was a conversation, and it was I say lengthy conversation, because the conversation lasted for a few years. Yeah. And for full disclosure, you and I, part of why we didn't work early on was because you wanted kids and I didn't. Mm-hmm. And now, again, being adults, we had that. I don't even know why the conversation, I don't even know how it even came up that early, or why it even came up that early, but it did. And you were honest and I was honest. And that was kind of part of why it didn't work. Obviously I wasn't ready as I thought I was looking back on it, and you knew that you weren't ready. So you were definitely the younger of the two, but the wiser of the two during that time. But when we got together and stayed together 10 years ago, I said, if this is what you want, this is what I'm willing to do. We would do the kid thing. And so, we weren't ready at that time. We were still having a good time. And now we're busy just with careers. And we had the discussion again. And over the last 3 years or so, and decided, hey, this is not something that we're going to do. But if we had to, then yeah, I would rise to it. But it's not something I'm quick to throw my hat into, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think anyone who has the aspirations that you do would be quick to throw their hat into something like that, because it is a bit of monotony is what it is. You do the same thing every day because that's what you have to do. But there's still spontaneity and fun in those moments too.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And you're right, because, generally speaking, our friends have kids. We love those kids. We love to see those kids. We love to be around them. We love to support what they're trying to do. We love seeing, just for example, Dave and Jenny Hackle. We love both their boys. Love supporting Caden. Can't wait to see where he goes off to college. So that'd be great. Can't wait for Jackson to get really into his next level in the high school, doing his thing. But take the sports out of it. We've watched those kids grow up for the last 10 plus years.
Yeah.
And so it's been great. And again, we just love seeing them whenever we have an opportunity. I told Caden I'm going to take him to dinner wherever he like to go. Just tell me where you want to go. I'll take you to dinner before he goes off to college.
Yeah.
And he thinks about it. And, I know where I would say. And the kid says Macayos.
Macayos?
So
not like Arrowhead Grill, Dominic, Steak 44.
Absolutely.
Like I could throw.
Nope. And so he said Macayos. So the guy's sitting there like, but much like your face, like for people out there who are not from the area, I would say Macayos is maybe 2 steps up from Taco Bell. So if you're old
that
enough,
far up,
if you're old enough and from
it's like Taco Bell served on a plate.
it's when he said Macayos, that's where he wants to go. And so Kay's like, why? What's the problem? What's wrong with Macayos? And I can't remember his name, but one of the guys said the crunch says, hey, nothing. You let him off the hook. He said he could probably take you there twice.
Take you there a few times before you leave.
But I told him, I said, hey, I want to go have dinner with you. Let's have a talk.
Yeah.
Before you head off to school. He has a great dad. I said, but as I told him, I'm older than your dad. I've done some things that maybe your dad been through some experience, maybe your dad hasn't. So I just want to share some stuff with you before you head off. And he's like, all right, let's go do it. But but we love those kids. You know what I'm saying? So sorry for anyone out there who can hear the dog sound like she's being strangled.
She only does this when we're on the podcast.
She didn't do it last week. She was very good last week, but I don't know what this is this week. But anyway, but we love these kids, but I just don't. But you're right. If it is everything has some type of monotony to it. So you're right there.
I'm what?
No, you're right on this instance. I still don't think I could. I still look at that and I just wonderment, like, how do you do it? But you do make a good point. I think people who are trying to do whatever it is I'm trying to do, I guess I'm struggling to not use the word, though it's probably the right word. There's probably a certain level of selfishness that those people have in order to achieve what they're trying to achieve. I think selfishness would be the right word.
I don't even know if it's selfishness. It's I don't want to say you're naive, because you're not
naive. But
you've not been in the situation to understand the sacrifices. But I think we've heard enough celebrities talk about, while, life is great, you have all this money, you can buy all these things. At the end of the day, they still want normal things, to be able to go into a store by themselves, to drive down the street by themselves, to walk their kid to the park, I think that's why I don't want to say naive. It's just you haven't experienced it yet to know what what it's going to.
I mean, when I was in the hospital, the nurse.
Oh my gosh, the nurse.
Okay.
You guys, I have to tell you this story. Oh, the nurse. So a lot of people don't know this, but during COVID, Sidney had to have an emergency surgery and he was in the hospital. It wasn't serious.
Wasn't on my dick. So.
It was his appendix. He had to have his appendix removed.
All right.
He was in the hospital, and COVID, you couldn't be in the hospital. They only let you in 2 hours of the day, 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening. And so you had to line up at the hospital door, sign in, show your ID, all of these things. So I get to the front of the line, and I whisper, I'm here to see Sidney Smith, and the nurse says, "The Sidney Smith?" I was like, yeah, my husband, Sidney Smith, the comedian Sidney Smith. And I was like, yep, that's him. So I'm thinking like he's up there telling these nurses jokes or something and she's met him. No. But apparently she's been to his shows. She knows who he is. And so I still think to this day, there are people who call you the Sidney Smith.
There is. And, well, I'm very happy that this nurse knew who I was just based off my name, which is very cool because I wouldn't even stand there. Part of me hopes I never run into her because sounds like she might be my biggest fan. I've never met her before.
It was quite interesting, but that also happened at the grocery store.
It did. Well, it was a little less. It was a little more humbling at the grocery store because we went through and the gentleman at the counter says, "Hey, you're that guy."
He did. You're that guy.
I said, "What
guy?"
That comedian. I think he did say my name. And I said something very corny. Say, "Yes, I am that guy."
I remember we both laughed about it when we walked out of the store, and you were like, "Did I just say yes? I'm that guy?"
I was like, "Who do I think I am?" Yes, I am.
But see. So I think there are just things you don't know yet. And I think that as you grow and you learn what those things are, you'll learn what your boundaries are as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. But I think that stuff over there is definitely, again, Tamra, I know because, like I said, I think there's a certain selfishness that you have to have. And I probably have it because I see it as, okay, I love it. I want to support you. I want you to hit those free throws. But at the same time, I should probably be somewhere writing, or I should be on a stage somewhere. And damn it, kid, are you holding me back?
Oh, my goodness gracious.
So I don't know. This has been, even better this week.
Look, and I even looked at the camera.
You did. And for folks, she's wearing my comedic hero, Chris Rock t-shirt right now.
That is right.
That's my guy. Mm-hmm. I'm going to share something else. We've been sharing today. We can better about sharing. I'm going to share today. I saw Chris Rock for the first time last year. Mm-hmm. Hopefully I'll be able to relay this to Chris and he doesn't laugh at me. But we were there and Tamra just kept rubbing my arm. She's like, "You okay?" And I'm like, you don't know what this means to me. And while people are standing up applauding, like I am sitting in my chair and there's a tear or two running out of my face. It was an emotional, like I do not get that type of emotional, almost never. So it was something that was surprising to me as well. Thankfully there wasn't too many people in front of me standing. I could still kind of see him. Plus they had the screen. But that was definitely an emotional moment for me. And I'm glad I had it because then we saw him again with Dave Chappelle. And I had seen Dave 2 years prior, but to see them together, that was completely awesome.
Yeah, it was such a good show.
Yes. Who else was on that show? Talib Kweli and Mos Def. I know he doesn't go by Mos Def anymore. I cannot think of the name he goes by. But the two of them came out and rapped. And then I can't remember his name. I've worked with them before too from the Dave Chappelle show.
I don't know.
Okay, hopefully he doesn't hear this story. But anyway, the Chris Rock show was something for me, and it was it was awesome. It was awesome. So the T-shirt there is from that, and thought he did an amazing job. And it was great to see him work that set out the first time we saw him, and then to see it when he came back around with Dave, and to see how tight, how well he had crafted it, and then to see it live, and to be able to say, "Oh man, he moved that around. Okay, that went all the way to the end." because when we saw him, all of the Jada and Will stuff was earlier.
Yeah.
And then when you got to the special, I don't know why he moved it. I felt like he should have, who am I to tell Chris Rock? I thought he should have kept it where it was, but he moved it towards the end. And he probably moved it towards the end because he knows that's what people wanted to see.
I loved his set at the Footprint Arena.
Yes.
So we saw him at the Federal Theater. I believe that's what it was called, downtown, in August. And then we saw him again in January, February.
Yeah.
And that show was just, it was phenomenal. I just thought it was so well done.
It was a great show. And
Yeah.
and he did hour and 15. And then Dave came out and closed it out with, I think, maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But like I said, Talib Kweli, Mos Def came out, raps. Damn it, I cannot remember his name. I'm rich, bitch. You guys, you guys know who I'm talking about. Ashy Larry. Cannot believe I cannot remember his name right now off the top of my head.
You'll think of it. But, seeing you at the Chris Rock show when you were emotional.
Yeah.
And people might laugh at this, but that's how I am when I watch like my students be successful at something or do a performance or when they overcome something. So it's just like a sense of pride and like a feeling of I don't know, like.
But I think it's different for me. I think because what was there for me to be prideful of? I mean, the man's a legend. There's no pride for me to feel for Chris Rock. I don't think.
Yeah, but it's still like seeing something that you're working towards, and so the same thing with students. Like, I'm working every day, but then you have those moments that you get to experience where you get to feel. Like just a little bit proud, a little bit in the moment, I guess. Like for you, it's slightly different because that's the path you're on. Like,
yeah,
you're getting to see somebody who is showing you what it looks like to do what you want to do.
He's the guy I'm chasing. Anytime I hit the stage, anytime I write, that's who for me, who I'm chasing.
Yeah.
Dave is Dave, and everyone loves Dave, and I love Dave. Kevin is Kevin.
Yeah.
Like when I saw Kevin 2 summers ago, the thing that I was blown away by was he didn't do any press or anything like that.
Yeah.
He just said, I'm coming through. They put the tickets up on the website, and I believe 6 shows were gone in a half hour.
Wow.
His name wasn't even on the marquee.
Yeah.
They had the marquee was turned off. And he had the Tempe Improv sold out 6 shows. I think he did the first 5 shows in a half hour. They released a 6th show, and I think the 6th show was gone in 5 minutes. Those tickets were gone in 5 minutes. So I was impressed by that. I was impressed by that machine because you know me, it's not just the art, it's the business side. You guys don't get to see it. Obviously, I have a whole board here with all different kind of ideas that I write on in business and stories and so on and so forth. I have a board over here, a cork board I think what I'm going to do actually is put, and I was going to say to you, what I think I want is put a map up here of the country. And I want to use those push pins because I want to start planning out a tour.
Okay.
And for the start of next year in Arizona. So that's something I'll be focused on. I think I want to put that there. But you know me, I'm very deliberate with everything. Everything is planned out. Nothing. I don't take a breath without planning it first. And so to see Kevin and see that machine the way that was, that was I found outstanding. And the other thing I wanted to do with Kevin was I wanted to see where I felt like I stood in terms of where he is, as far as presentation of the material and that stage presence and things of that nature. And so that was the other reason I wanted to go see him as well. And plus, I wanted to see what the comedy was going to be like compared to what he's done on the last couple of specials. Yeah. So it was. I try to find something to take from every time I see any of these guys. Whether they're that big or just someone rolling in to do one of the clubs here and I just want to go check out a show. But for Chris, it was definitely something special, something different for me.
Yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed going. I know it wasn't the same for me as it was for you, but it was a really good show.
It was.
And I love the shirt, so I wear it. It
is. And well, I said we got to get there early. We got to get merch because they're going to sell out. And so we make sure we were there early. Went and got merch before we got drinks and went to seats. We went straight to the merch. Got about $200 in merch, I think.
Bought everything.
Anything that I could that I liked. So You know, I got you got a T-shirt. I got some. Where's it at? I got a couple of beer koozies. Got a hoodie. You know, we scooped up a couple of different things.
So I'm wearing a shirt of somebody who inspires you, and you're wearing a shirt of somebody that inspires me.
Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? For people, I will just go ahead and move this over here. You're not getting any sex out of me after this podcast, so I don't know why. But yes, this is like something, just a little quote, something that matters to me. I originally had it written on the board, and then I said, you know what, let me go ahead and put it on a shirt. And if anyone else buys it, great. If they don't, I'll be the one rocking it. But I think it is very important, and I don't want to get too heavy in this, so but I think it's very important for people of this persuasion to remember where you come from. And where you come from is not just those 2 blocks you walk up and down every day in the inner city. You know, you come from beyond that. And you come from kings and queens. Those are your actual fucking ancestors. Mm-hmm. And so I think that is important to remember, even for myself, who can forget it from time to time, which is why I like the shirt. But I wish, and I think if a byproduct of that would be a lot less of those negative things that we have in this society. And I also wish that other people of other groups would remember where you come from, that you don't just come from maybe the trailer park that you live in, or the 2 blocks that you walk up and down in the inner city that you grew up in, or just from those 2 people who are raising you, who are not the greatest of parents, but they've forgotten where they've come from. It's just, I just wish more people would remember that my blood flows further back than just whatever years you've been on this planet. Yeah.
And I love that shirt. So
yeah, you guys want one? Go to my website, SidneySmithCreative.com. CRE, the number 8 TIV. But anyway, so yeah, very cool. Good conversation. Good show.
And I know we're getting close to the end of the podcast because I can see you keep looking, so it's probably time. But did we get any questions this week?
We didn't get any questions this week, and we weren't close to anything. I can keep going. The dog has stopped talking, but I do try to keep or stop barking. But I do try to keep the podcast at a certain time frame until we blow up and get to that Tom Segura, Christina P level, and then we can just go on as long as we want. Or that Joe Rogan, you look on YouTube, Joe Rogan's got podcasts, he's for 2 hours long. So we're not there yet.
No, that's too long.
It's not too long. Not too long yet. You talk a lot. If I took everything you say on the weekends in one day and made it into a podcast.
I talk to you a lot. I don't talk to other people a lot.
I'm just saying, you're talking to me right now. I'm just saying, you in a day, within 2 hours, you can talk for 2 hours if I let you.
You get so mad because you guys will be watching a show and I'll be like, I'm so sorry. Can you pause that? I remembered something. It makes you so mad because I
knew you know it did. You do it on purpose.
But the problem is I have a horrible memory and I know that. And if I don't tell you right then, I'm not going to remember to tell you.
You've been using this I got a terrible memory bullshit for long enough.
I do have a terrible memory. I have terrible short-term memory. But if you ask me something happened 10 years ago, I can remember it.
Yeah, if I did something wrong, you can. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I can remember a lot of things.
Your short-term memory seems to work just fine if there's something you wanted me to do and I didn't do it. You seem to have perfect short-term memory. Your short-term memory doesn't work when you... Can you pause this?
Can you pause it, please?
I need to talk right now.
The funniest thing is when I don't say, can you pause this? And I just start talking and the look you give me just like...
Because you wait till I'm so engrossed in something enough.
It's just a TV show. You can rewind it.
See? Right there.
It's fine.
No respect.
You can just go back and rewind and rewatch it.
We'll write your shit down so you can come back later on and read what you wrote.
I'll try to do better.
Oh my God. Well, great show this week. I don't have anything on the top of my brain coming up. You got anything coming up you want to tell the people about? Anything that folks can help you with?
I don't. Sorry. If I did, I forgot it.
I am going to be looking at putting together a tour. So, guys, if you are a fan of mine, stay locked in. Go and subscribe at my website, Sidney Smith Creative, CRE, the number 8TIV. Subscribe there. I keep everything there. I upload, excuse me. I keep my calendar up to date and all that kind of good stuff. You can also check out our stuff if you want to see more about me and what I'm doing creatively. A couple other podcasts. I put those up on my IG at Sidney Smith Creative. Again, CRE, the number 8TIV. And then for you, what is it?
I don't remember. It's like at Mrs. TMY Smith.
There you go. So check her out if you want to see a IG full of dogs and flowers, seashells, tortoise,
Vans.
Yeah, Vans. She's got some Vans on. She's very proud that she was wearing today. So we didn't get them on camera, but we'll next.
We didn't. I could put it up. Oh, you can't really see it, but they match perfectly.
They do. You're a Van nut now.
Yeah, I got dressed today, and I looked at him and I said, I thought you'd be really proud. Because I went and got my nails done today. So my nails are like an olive green color. Yeah. And the shirt that I'm wearing has white and red on the back. So the Vans I picked today are black and white and red with green leaves.
She did it. She did her thing.
I am not a person who matches shoes to shirts to all the things, and so when I get it right, I feel kind of proud of myself. Well, I have to let you know that I did.
Well, you should. Also, guys, I'm going to be shooting my special November 11th here in Phoenix. Would love for you guys to come out. Do not wait on tickets. I know people in Arizona love to wait to buy tickets. Do not wait to buy tickets. People are buying them. Again, my comedy special, shooting it live. It's called Misunderstood. And then after the show, we're going to have an after/birthday party. So come on out, hang out, have a good time. It's going to be a lot of laughs. Got a couple great comics, locals that are my favorites that are going to open up for me. And it's going to be just an awesome, awesome night.
I should ask so people know, will there be tickets at the door?
I'm debating on that. I'm hoping we don't have any tickets to sell at all at the door, but I'm debating on that because I just want people to come in and get situated and have a good time. And I don't want anyone to have to worry about tickets. Is kind of where I'm leaning. So we'll see. But I wouldn't wait because I may not. But you can get those again. Sidney Smith Creative, CRE, the number 8TIV.
Yeah. Don't miss out.
All right. I love you.
I love you too.
All right. You guys have yourself a great rest of your week. Hopefully we kept you company on your drive home or your job at work. Have a good one.
Have a good day.